Hello everyone and welcome to QualityOldGames. I decided to try a bit of different approach to this How Good Is series in this video, so I will be commenting as well as I'm doing the video. Feel free to share your thoughts, whether you like or dislike this in the comments. Hopefully not too many dislikes in the thumbs up, thumbs down section, but in the comments feel free to tell if you prefer this or if you prefer the non-commented version. So basically in the first Horde battle, the same old tactics as always. So perhaps just trying to smash through or utilizing hit and run tactics. And I think we will actually use hit and run. The formation of the enemy is such at the moment that we could have some chances to hit and then run away before horrible things begin to happen. Okay, good. So you guys pull back. You guys pull back. You... Okay. So at least it's not going to be heroic victory at this pace. But perhaps another charge like that one will break the enemy. Interestingly, this unit suffered no casualties, it seems, or perhaps one, while these suffered quite a bit. Perhaps it was that due to them circling the unit a bit and then these two units were able to hit it. But I guess we just have to go on it again. And then a couple of those guys did come out of panic. So in one of the videos I tested whether or not it's better to actually try to break the unit before pulling back, and that seems to be the case. So yeah, and let's try to make sure that these guys don't want to fight again. Okay, good. Well, that was rather efficient. I think it's rather clear victory, nonetheless. So despite some casualties suffered and apparently not too many healed, a clear victory. I can concur with that. So at times there have been questions what it would take to get heroic victory or 8 points for this one. I think the number of men lost should be below 20, especially as cavalry units are smaller in size. So in this case, particularly not even near heroic victory. And my limit for average victory is about, let's take the highest heroic victory casualties away, so say 21 men, and then each 100 will give close victory, average victory, and clear victory. So from 200 to 300 it would be clear victory. From 100 to 200 average, and below 100 close victory. And the same goes for the enemy, somewhat. Of course the number of units is different. So we are against elite now, and I think here we just have to use hit and run. Of course, one of the goals will be to snipe the enemy general, the task for this unit, but these units must keep the enemy kind of occupied. The formation of these side units is a bit smaller or narrower in order to make it more feasible to turn around to charge. Because when they begin to run, they will change the formation, and these guys will be in broader formation because they will be hitting the enemy in the front. And you guys need to be hitting those guys and take down the... Good. And now we have a chance of breaking at least some of the enemies. Good. Actually, that went rather well. Surprisingly well, to be honest. And once again, these guys are doing it without any casualties. So only 67 of those guys left. Let's try to prevent... Okay, so those guys came from panic. They don't have any panic attacks going on anymore. And that charge was rather bad, to be honest. Okay, well, heroic victory. I think it's clear victory, and perhaps in some cases I would take a rematch, but it's quite clearly in the clear victory section. So even if I did take a rematch, I doubt that the performance of the unit would improve significantly enough to warrant a real heroic victory. So despite this one being heroic by the game standards, it's going to be only a clear victory because of the high rate of casualties, or relatively high rate of casualties, the Demi Lancers suffered. Okay, and we are preparing for the versus Cavalry battle. And about the units, England, of course, most of the opponents in the tests are from England's roster, but France has rather equivalent units, so testing English units is of no issue, at least in my opinion. So here, I think we are trying to get a flank, while these three try to charge head-on, and in most cases the AI does play this a bit stupidly, so the charges will land quite clearly and the enemy is not counter-charging, and at the same time we can get a nice clear, actually even rear charge with this unit, and that will likely break this unit straight away in here. Yeah. And then we can focus on some of the other units.
Winning the battle. If we continue like this, we will smash the enemy.
And of course, we should try to pursue those guys just to make sure that they are good, so that they don't rally. And actually I think this was quite neat. This unit did take some heavy casualties, but this unit once again rather without a scratch. So rather clear series of clear victories this far. Of course, the issue with Demi Lancers is that the requirements are relatively high. We will come back to those later, but still they kind of must get a clear row of clear victories in order to be considered to on par with other heavy cavalry units. And on that regard, the requirements might actually become an issue, because the unit is relatively pricey. And then versus the missile units battle, I think we have a good formation we have been using. So these guys try to get a flank and hit the enemy general, while these guys do make a frontal charge. I think they will eat one volley of crossbow bolts, meaning most likely a clear victory at most. But some cavalry units actually have managed to hit these before being hit, but that's not the case in this case. And that's a lot of cases apparently. So let's see if we can actually... Yeah, so they did break quite easily over there. So if we just could make sure that these guys are fleeing. Yeah, heroic victory. I mean, I guess these guys were hit quite a lot of by the crossbow bolts actually. I actually don't have time during the battle to see the unit cards quite often, so these high losses was a bit surprising. So once again, a clear victory despite the game labeling it is a heroic one. So now we have the final battle against army. I think we will try to use these two units to just smash through the enemy center. There will be the crossbow, Pavis crossbowmen at the front, two militias behind them, and then the cavalry and heavy infantry. And these two guys will do the flanking charge, with these guys tasked with taking down the enemy general. And let's see how we will fare. So the crossbowmen are at the front. The enemy cavalry is probably moving to engage. I think we could snipe the general, and we need to try to face the enemy cavalry. And you guys should... Okay. Crossbowmen are fleeing, and the enemy general is somewhere. Okay, let's try to make a bit of a room for the enemy to
The battle seems to be
escape.
swinging in our favor. From such tidings does victory emerge.
And
Only half
let's
the
pull
enemy
back.
force remains.
So is actually the general fleeing as well? The cavalry is fleeing. Okay, that's good. Let's try to prevent it from regrouping. And go after that. Okay, this charge is not going to work too well. Perhaps there was a misclick. Actually, we are hitting
Our
the...
foolish general has thrown his life away. Perhaps our chances of victory with it. By St. George, our men have slain the enemy general. Without him, his troops will lose their will to fight.
Okay, so apparently those guys are rallying. Now the question pretty much is, should we... Perhaps we should actually pull back. Okay, so now they are breaking. Let's make sure that those guys are not rallying, because that would make the battle quite a bit more challenging.
The enemy army,
And that's a clear victory. I think, yeah,
by the victory we have won here today.
eventually a clear victory, but I think I was kind of feeling it might become to average victory after all. And I have in some responses to comments said that in the next series, which How Good Is series, which most likely will be for Barbarian Invasion, unless you want to have How Good Is series versus Very Hard AI in original Rome Total War. But I think the next one will be in Rome Total War in some form or another. In any case, so I think I would want to use more granular scoring system. So I will forget every of these victory types the game gives: heroic, clear, average, close, and just use scoring from, say, from 0 to 100 based on the casualties suffered if the battle is won, or casualties inflicted, or how many casualties the enemy suffered if the battle is lost, and thus make the battle score, and of course the requirements cost upkeep score would be scaled to 100 as well. But if you want, feel free to comment those ideas in the comments as well. But regarding the units kind of requirements, so it requires military academy, which is requires huge city. Of course, the building itself, 4,800, is not that horrible of a cost compared to other tier 5 buildings, practically, meaning 9,600, which is actually horrible. There is the amount of units recruitable at most is 6, so that would directly lead to 3 points. Of course, the military academy must be upgraded for those, but so it goes with every unit. The unit price is 700. I guess that's relatively okay for heavy cavalry, 2 points. So the limit is 500 for 2 and 750 for 1. And then the upkeep is 250, which is rather staggering in my opinion, earning only 1 point. So the limit to 2 goes 225. So it would mean 35 points from battles and 8 points from requirements, and that means 34 points, which will give it pretty much the same amount of score as other heavy cavalry units, or most of other heavy cavalry units have received this far. But in any case, this was this one attempt of How Good Is series with commentary on. Feel free to share your thoughts on it. And thank you very much for watching. If you like the content, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to support the channel, consider becoming a member. You get some additional emojis and other perks. For instance, more of a say for future campaigns, future test battles, and so on and so forth. And very special thanks to existing channel members. Your support is greatly treasured. Have a great rest of the day. QualityOldGames out.